We have a game with the black pieces on our speed run against WhatsApp, rated 950. Hopefully they make a move. And there they go. We have d6 on the board. We attack the center with our knight. He defends. We go to develop our bishop so we can castle. And we see what white wants. White plays f3. A pawn storm. So he pushes in the center immediately, which makes no sense. Because now, why is this pawn here? Instead of takes, and we don't have knight g4, I'm going to immediately retreat to d7 and attack with c5, his pawn chain. And you can see all the dark square pressure I'm going to have on it. And his knight can't come and defend it, the dark squares. So it's good for me, bad for him. I'm already and immediately threatening to take, and then win a pawn. So maybe he'll take. He did not. He develops and lets us win a pawn. If we take with the knight, we lose castling rights due to the queen trade. So we take with the bishop. He's not forced to take though. But black is already better, winning. He develops his bishop and looks here. I say we castle. Now our queen is defended, so we don't mind queen trades here. Now if he takes, well, we're definitely going to take with the knight, since our queen, we won't lose castling rights. And he's really trying to figure out what to do, or he has a bad connection. So he moves the pawn again, which really blocks his bishop. But I think we can throw in knight b6 intermezzo, because it hits a hanging piece and adds another attacker here. So it's a multi-purpose move. It does quite a lot. I think it's really good for us. He defends this way, which of course we want to take the bishop, mess up his pawn structure, and this is hanging. So terrible. I'm just having a sneezing fit at the side. So now, very solid, very compact, but very effective development. Targeting dark squares. It's nice playing a dark square strategy from the black side. Very enjoyable. And he doesn't know how to respond because he loses material. So he does it this way, but it doesn't make any sense because he just hangs another piece for no reason with check, And by hanging this piece, he hangs another piece for no reason. So he just hung everything all at once and for no reason. He still doesn't resign. Let's bring the queen in. We're up 9 points of material. Now we don't have many pieces in the game, so we're not going to be able to checkmate with just a queen. Let's get some stuff in the game. He moves his king back, which is weird. Let's just develop. Okay, he attacks our queen. Let's take free stuff. Pin the knight. And, I mean, there's no reason to play if you're white. And there's not too much to learn when you're up 10 points of material. The guy can't even move the knight. I can just keep adding pressure. It's terrible. He has no legal moves that do anything. So he brings the queen back in, but first of all, let's hit it for free. We can now add another attacker to the knight. And then we could add our knight jumping in the center for maximum effect. He just abandons the king side and goes for broke over here. That's never the right thing to do. Now that we have the rook here, the queen left, we probably don't even need the knight. We might just be able to checkmate with the queen and the rook. He goes there, but that's checkmate unless he sacks the queen. So we're forcing the queen sack. And then it's check. He has to move his king. We'll follow up with another check. And then after that we can bring in the piece. And I mean, just resign. It's mate in one. What's this guy on about? I'm just going to pre-move it because no legal move matters. And no legal move changes it. So, pretty normal Pirc, except for f3 is a little weird if you're going to play e5. If you play f3, it's because you want to pawn storm with g4 and h4. So he didn't play it correctly. And already 1, 2, 3 pieces on this pawn. He can't defend it properly. So that's why the e5 pawn push, although it may look enticing because you think you're kicking the knight, it generally doesn't work out for you. So yeah, we just take everything and we'll go to a different game. We got Arun Ramia. We're going to play d6. He brings the bishop out. We're going to attack the pawn. Does he notice? He does. We play g6 to Fianchetto. And he attacks our knight. We defend our knight. He's out of ideas. Okay. c3. Maybe just trying to blunt the diagonal. It makes some sense. I'm going to throw in h6. Make him choose what he wants to do. He takes. Now he never has any threats on my king position. And he moves his queen to the wrong side of the board. He's going for this cheapo, but it doesn't even do anything. I could just castle, and now his pieces are misplaced. So this is a totally wrong idea. This is not the position to go for this stuff. He develops his knight, but we can just develop with this threat, knight a5 coming. And although we're not up material, I'd rather be black. He attacks our knight, but we're just going to move it anyway. You can move it to the center if you really want. But I want to go to the rim. I'm going to hit his queen, and then I'm going to hit his bishop. I'm just gonna kick him around a bit. He could defend and attack, and I could play something like b6 or c6. c6 makes a lot of sense because it defends and attacks, and we want c6 anyway. So he moves the queen back, and now we get in the free c6. Keep in mind our knight is trapped, so you have to watch for ideas about it. He could just play b4, but for the time being his bishop's hit, and when it goes back you can always just get rid of the knight. You can also maybe throw in b5, but that would open up his rook. I'd rather mess up his pawn structure in the center. b5 isn't necessary for me. So I could develop my bishop here with the threat, or here with the threat of ruining his pawn structure. Both are valid. On this, that weakens the dark square, so let's provoke him to defend this pawn. See what he does. He does do this, but now the c3 point is a little bit weaker, and we get to go again. So let's develop our rook by going a5. He also could go d5 and blast open the position. He plays a4, so we don't gain further space. That makes sense. Now, you could play d4, but once he pushes, intermezzo the queen moves, bishop drops back. I mean, that's a good position for us, so we could go for that. We could start with bishop back because it's, although we don't have to. Well, now that he defended this, let's move our bishop to a real square. I think this makes more sense. If he doesn't want to double his pawns, he should defend the knight somehow. There we go. So we need a pawn break to open room for our rooks. We could go e5 and f5. That's one pawn break. The other one would be d5. On d5, I mean, let's go e5 and leave his pawn structure all like wonky and weak. We could drop our bishop back and play f5. And this looks interesting at the very least. So why not go for it? He hits our bishop. We could take the knight, but that would free up space and give his pieces, squares to go to. I don't want to do that. Now that I played e5, my bishop on e6 doesn't look nearly as weird as before, and so now it sits much better here with the pawn in front of it. So I don't need to trade. And white has nothing to do but sit and wait to lose. But all in all, nicely done by 1000, that's for sure. So this game got really positional because it got closed off. And he doesn't really have any forward moves, so When you don't have forward moves, you don't know what to do, and you end up just pushing a random pawn like he did. Now he pushes this pawn, but it doesn't threaten anything. So I'm going to slink my bishop back into this nice hole, out of the way of the f-pawn and the queen. And now I'm ready to push. And when he takes, I can take with the pawn, the bishop, or the rook. And even though I have this backwards looking d6 pawn on a semi-open file, he's clearly not in time to do anything about that. So he pushes past with the pawn, but this also doesn't threaten anything. If he ever takes, his pawns get even weaker. So he could do that. And I'm going to blast open with f5 right now. I do have two bishops against two knights, and the bishops will thrive the less pawns there are on the board. So he takes a pawn. I'll simply recapture, covering the center. Sure, there's an open b file, but I could use it just as much as he can use it. Also, what's he really going to do with it? His knight's tethered to this pawn. Doesn't look good for him. He moves his knight to the side, trying to attack weaknesses of mine. The downside is this square is covered by my queen. We win the game. He cracks on move 20 after playing a decent game, pretty solid. He finally cracks under the pressure. He tunnel visions on my newly created weakness, which is true, but he just doesn't, he's not tactically aware. So he develops the knight with a threat, so we should move the queen. But now let's move it here instead of back home, as if we developed it. Opposite is king, controls the center. He takes the pawn. We can take back three ways, all playable. But I think I'm going to go with the bishop. We have our win condition, the extra piece. We just need some nice diagonals. Our rook is open. We can kick the knight and get in with our queen. We have open b file. So he moves the queen. And he's going to castle next. So let's go here in preparation, saying if you castle, we'll just take. And if you don't castle, like if you move your knight, the pawn is hanging. So if you don't castle, we'll still take. What are you going to do? You know, these don't matter. The pawns just don't matter. He can't make any moves with the pawns. He has to look for piece moves. But nothing matters. This hangs a rook. There's only castling. And like, long castling. Wow. I forgot about that because that looks insane. So let's checkmate him. Thank you. Let's get this guy in the game and threaten mate in one. What is this? Wait, how does he stop this? I mean, yeah, you could sack your queen, but that's trash. I guess just do it. Wait, what? Oh yeah, it was checkmate because the queen was here. But once he moves the queen, it's no longer mate in one. Whoops. It's still amazing, obviously. We're still crushing this guy, but not a checkmate immediately. Okay. Whatever, we'll just take the rook. We still have all of our threats on the board. He has to take back, we get the knight. He takes back, we get the pawn. We're threatening this. It looks terrible. Okay, he ignores us, but that lets us keep a piece, which is weird. I'm gonna throw in this. Oh, I see. It's a check. Okay, in that case, we push past. This helps our pawn structure. So although he got in a cheeky check, it actually helps us. So because now we push past a potential pawn that could attack, but now it can never challenge us. So this is a terrible move going passive. Now we can throw in that check we tried to do illegally before. Now we go here, but the sneak attack is really this. And he goes here with the queen, allowing some checks in the position. So what we're going to do is go queen e5, centralize, cover the square, force the queen trade next. The game is over. He should resign. Okay, we're guaranteed the queen trade. And now we're up 5 points of material. The game wins itself. If you could get the rook trade, do that as soon as you can, let's say. So he's going for counterplay on my pawns. So I'm going to push in the center. He gives me a check, but this can only help my king. Okay, he gives me another check. I have to stay in contact with the bishop. That's the only reason I'm blocking it. But I might as well move it up the board as well. I can always go h6 and get it out with check. But the reason I put these pawns here is to create the barrier. So when I check him, he has to move backwards. He's threatening this pawn, which I can't defend and don't care about. And none of his counterplay will actually amount to anything. Because these pawns are too dangerous. I'm also up material, so let's push the pawn, open the diagonal. He'll take this with check. We'll lift our king as an improvement. Now our bishop is free again. And bishop here, rook here is checkmate. He goes there, but I can check him 2 different ways, so that's a weird move. I'm just going to check him because it's defended. And now I could push for free. But I'm just going to take this so I can push and checkmate him. He goes here, but he doesn't have access to this square, so it doesn't actually work. And now he gets mated because the bishop covers this escape square. So it's as if we had a pawn here, 3 pawns. So we get him in a mating net on move 45. Played very well for 980, lasting 45 moves. We did end up with a 98 accuracy though. Interesting. That's a lot of moves. Anyway, hopefully you could just see some more ideas about the Pirc and how we play it. Good luck in your chess. Submit your games in my Discord.